became head of the World Bank. Every now and then, someone of Indian origin wins a position of power around the world. It happened earlier this year when Ajay Banga became head of the World Bank. It happened last year when Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister in Britain. It got me wondering, is the diaspora really that powerful? Or are these just one-off examples? I'm Avantika Chilkoti, and I'm international correspondent at The Economist. There are 280 million migrants around the world. About 18 million of them come from India. That makes it the world's largest diaspora. But it's not just the size of the Indian diaspora that makes it so powerful, it's the massive span of countries that they've moved to. There's lots of Indians living in the Middle East, in countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, working in construction and hospitality. Reporting in Kenya a few years ago, I was really struck by the number of business people I met who were of Indian origin. Some of these people were third, fourth generation Indians, but they still visited India. They still seem to have a little community there in Nairobi. And they all seem to still hold on to their Indian roots. And perhaps most importantly for the power of the Indian diaspora, there's lots of Indians living in America, Australia, throughout Europe. I started working with some academics at the Johns Hopkins University in Washington, D.C., to try to quantify the power of the diaspora. We looked at S&P 500 companies and the chief executives there. We found that currently, there are probably 25 people of Indian origin leading S&P 500 companies. That's up from just 11 a decade ago. Similarly, we looked at the legislatures in Britain, the US, in Australia, and Singapore. And there too, there are a very large number of people of Indian origin. It's not surprising that the Indian diaspora is so powerful. India has all the ingredients to be a top exporter of talent. It's got a large population, an English-speaking elite, and really good higher education for the select few who get in. In Britain, the US, in Australia, and Singapore. And there too, there are a very large number of people of Indian origin. It's not surprising that the Indian diaspora is so powerful. India has all the ingredients to be a top exporter of talent. It's got a large population, an English-speaking elite, and really good higher education for the select few who get in. A smart and successful Indian diaspora is an important tie between Western countries and India. At a time when the post-war liberal order is being tested, when China and Russia are really facing up to the West, it's incredibly important for Western countries to keep up this relationship with India. Every time Prime Minister Modi makes a trip somewhere overseas, you really see that. So last month in Australia, for example, I remember watching Prime Minister Modi speaking in front of thousands and thousands of Indian Australians. Up on stage with him was his Australian counterpart, Anthony Albanese.
I said to my friend, the Prime Minister, before, the last time I saw someone on the stage here was Bruce Springsteen, and he didn't get the welcome that Prime Minister Modi has got.
The Prime Minister from Australia was not going to miss his moment to speak in front of the Indian community there.
Prime Minister Modi is the boss.
Whatever's been happening recently with some democratic backsliding, this is a large democratic country that is growing fast and doing well. Mr. Modi heads to America soon. There'll probably be another big jamboree with the diaspora there. It will be further proof that Mr. Modi needs that diaspora, and Western leaders need them too.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to read more of our coverage of foreign